Welcome back. He's known as the Humboldt Driver. The man responsible for one of this country's most devastating collisions has just lost his bid to stay in this country, but his lawyer and his wife say their fight is not over. It's not the news Tanvir Man has been praying for.
We both are devastated with this outcome.
For 3 years, she has been driving to visit her husband in jail, most recently here at the minimum security Bowden Institution outside Calgary. Tanvir's husband is Jaskirat Sidhu, a man forever etched in the minds of Canadians as the Humboldt Driver. On April 6, 2018, he caused the collision that killed 16 members of the Humboldt Hockey Club, injured 13 others, and plunged an entire nation into mourning. He granted his first ever television interview to W5 in 2021.
So this is the camera. Okay.
After being sentenced to 8 years in prison.
I'm so sorry for the pain I have caused you because it was my mistake. And that pain, I regret every day that my actions, how I can do that to them. Seeing them every day in my dreams and losing their kids, losing their life partners, losing their brother and sister. Lose the most valuable things of their life. And that happened because of me.
You saw more of that tragedy than anyone else on earth. What are the images that you can't erase from your mind?
Sometimes I sit and I hear the children's crying and I see all the devastated picture in my mind, and people rushing, firefighters, all the first responders are helping everybody.
There was no criminal trial in the tragedy. Sidhu offered no defense and pleaded guilty to all charges. His W5 interview was both a public apology and an appeal to be allowed to stay in Canada.
It happened because of me, and it's a human life. It's not 1 or 2, it's 16. And definitely when I get to know their kids, their hockey team, and the love this country has for hockey, and how devastated they are, how broken they are with this, it gives me an extra burden of hurting every single person in this country.
Not everyone feels that you should stay in this country. What do you say to them?
There's no point of running away from things if I can try to make it better, because I'm not a person who did this purposely or intentionally. I know people have lost their lives, and I don't want to hide at the back. All I can do is stand in front of them and fold my hands and say sorry.
Jaskirat Sidhu is not a Canadian citizen, and under immigration laws, those convicted of a crime that carries a sentence of more than 6 months are subject to deportation, in this case, back to India. In 2021, lawyer Michael Green submitted this 415-page binder with his arguments against deportation. His extreme level of remorse, no criminal history, no drugs, alcohol, excessive speed, or pattern of reckless driving, a low risk to reoffend, and no desire to ever re-enter the trucking industry.
This has got to be one of the most difficult cases because it's not clear-cut. Normally, you get a really serious offense, it's easy for them to say bye-bye. In this case, it's when you've got a crime of inadvertence, you've got somebody with an unblemished record and who is well established in Canada, has a bright future.
And now, a ruling.
Jaskirat Sidhu has been told he does not get to stay in Canada.
After reviewing the file for 15 months, the Canadian Border Services Agency has rejected Jaskirat Sidhu's bid to stay in Canada. His lawyer responded.
It was really disappointing. We thought we had a strong case. There was tremendous public support, and there are a lot of factors in his support. So it's really devastating for them.
Jaskirat's wife Tanveer says the fight against deportation is not over.
We are still hoping to stay in Canada because, again, Canada is our home country now. And we have seen our future here. We have some dreams, to be in this country.
In her first interview since the decision came down, Tanveer tells W5 that she will not stay if her husband is forced to leave.
I won't be able to live alone in Canada for sure. I will have to go back to India if he goes. This thought has been scaring me for last few years that I might have to leave everything. I have given my prime years to Canada, and I really do not wish to go back to India. And I really, really hope that my voice is being heard and things work out in some way for both of us.
Tanveer was just 22 years old when she left India in 2013, coming to Canada on a student visa. Her then boyfriend Jaskirat came the following year, both of them armed with degrees, hers in nursing, his in commerce.
We were studying and we were doing part-time jobs. We were trying to save some money for our higher education. We were building our future slowly.
They got married in 2018, and Jaskirat turned to trucking as a way to make money to support his new bride. He had no professional driving experience and took just a 1-week course. That horrific collision happened on one of his first solo long-haul trips. For many families of the victims, healing cannot come with Jaskirat Sidhu still in Canada. Some have been vocal about wanting him deported, including the father of 20-year-old Jackson Joseph, who died in the crash. Chris Joseph reacts to news that Sidhu's plea has been rejected.
I already cried a couple times today. I feel like it's finally a little bit of justice. I still think we have a ways to go. I don't wish him ill will at all. For my own peace of mind, I just need less of this trauma.
Scott and Lori Thomas also lost a son. Evan was one of the 16 victims.
One of the things we had him do at the funeral home was take his handprint and ink. And then we found his kindergarten handprint.
And Scott always says he put that on there so that for every time he shakes people's hands, Evan will be shaking someone's hand too.
For the Thomases, healing has come with forgiveness.
He just got married. He took that job to help his wife go back to school. And they were making a life in Canada. So no, I don't think he should be deported because of what happened.
To me, it's extraordinary that not only have you forgiven Jaskirat, but you're actively working to keep him in Canada.
We sent some letters to his lawyer saying that our family doesn't think that he needs to be deported, that needs to be the necessary conclusion to how this all ends.
Their anger is not directed at the driver, but at the industry that put him behind the wheel.
It was Jaskirat's part-time job. It wasn't what he wanted to do. It's an embarrassment that he was allowed to do that. So then you just realize, holy cow, Jaskirat Sidhu is just the head of the snake. This is way bigger than just one driver. There's gonna be more of these unless the people that employ these guys are held to a higher standard. This is gonna keep happening. There's gonna be another one.
Oh yeah, until we make changes, and nothing's really changed.
Jaskirat Sidhu is eligible, but has not applied for parole. He remains here at the Bowdoin Institution. His lawyer, Michael Green, is contemplating appealing the deportation decision to federal court.
The judge, if he or she finds that the decision was unreasonable or that the process was unfair, can overturn the decision itself and send it back to another officer for determination.
And if that second officer comes back and says removal, is there an option to then appeal that?
I mean, you can go to federal court again and again and again, but it's not easy to show a decision is unreasonable. The test is whether it's reasonably open to the officer to make that decision. And that's a hard test to meet.
After almost a decade building a life here, Tanvir became a Canadian citizen just 2 months before learning that her husband will not be allowed to stay.
We know that we will have people supporting us. We know people would want us to go back. But I think Canada has always believed in mercy and second chance. We just really want one second chance to prove ourselves that, you know, we can be good Canadian citizens. People will not be seeing us as criminals.
Our previous report on this story examined the critical and still unsolved issues surrounding truck driver training and inspections in this country. You can find that documentary on our official W5 YouTube channel.